So, girlfriend murdered, boyfriend arrested. As in, it was thought before that someone else, he had police and everyone else thinking that somebody else committed the murder of his girlfriend, and yet it was him all along involved in the process. Like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as that ID Go app. You might want to get those two things, combine them, make them into one. So, girlfriend murdered by boyfriend. Before I get into the story, questions. You always want a question. What could have went wrong in their relationship? That's one question. What could there have been? Could there have been any signs of abuse? Let me just cut that short, what I was going to say. Could there have been any signs of abuse in which the girlfriend may have hid from her family? Could neighbors have known of any abuse? Could screams ever be heard by neighbors or any cries for help? When it comes to the intention, as in being with someone, the reason why, what could the intention be of the boyfriend? As in his reason for wanting to be her boyfriend. Did he know he was going to kill her from the beginning? As in was all planned. So the story, North Carolina, back in 2013, a mother of two was murdered in her home, in which the situation left the boyfriend to dial 911, reporting the scene. Back in 2013. Did you get what I said? That how you find out later someone else was in fact involved, as in connected to the situation, despite they were connected from the very beginning? The boyfriend. In the beginning, the boyfriend had everyone thinking someone was in fact responsible for her murder, and yet it was him who did it. So Nova Nikki Robinson, age 31 years old, was the victim, as Roger Lee Martin, 41 years old, was the boyfriend killer of Robinson. Advanced DNA testing is how Martin was identified, identified, yes, same thing, one and the two, right, and which led to his arrest. The DNA testing is what showed and provided evidence to the police department. All wasn't verified. These DNA testing is completely, the further we go, there's going to be individuals becoming identified in which don't want to. Some that have committed crimes possibly 30 years back. The further we go into the future, trust and believe DNA, these testing and results is going to be able to identify possibly people who were killing back in the 70s and possibly before. So on January 28, 2013, police were sent to the home of Robinson after Martin placed his 911 call to dispatch. Martin stated to dispatch he didn't know why anyone would want to place harm to his girlfriend. Robinson's body was found near the back door of her place of residence. Within her own home, she was killed. Police detected on walls and doors the blood when it comes to DNA samples and all the rest, right? There needs to be a video made about that. I will possibly be the best one to do it, right? But yes, the blood and all that, the samples on the walls and the doors of the home. Defensive markings on Robinson's body showed she tried fighting off her attacker. Sister and mother of Robinson are hurt over the situation and feel the conviction of Martin will begin their healing process. They feel nothing can bring her back but the conviction process, and that will help with the grieving process. Attacker, see, that's why I questioned in the opening of my video the abuse. Could he have been abusive? And you want to question that because to know that she fought off. That's to not say just because somebody fought off someone right before they died, that's to not say that that individual was abusive. But that's to say that that could have led up to her death. You see where I'm going, where I flip the angle? I like to play with Rubik's Cubes. Didn't I say that before? I like to play around with Rubik's Cubes, flipping stuff at an angle to make sense of it. Well, he might not have been abusive, right? And yet to know that she fought him off, you would in fact call that an attack to prevent death to your own self. And yet, what could be the reason for fighting him off outside of death? Questioning things at every angle. Could he have been a verbally abusive individual to her? What? Because see, there's something that led up to her death to begin with, right? What would be the possible reasons for a man to want to kill his own girlfriend? There had to have been some intention in that, as in a cause and effect. Something starts something which leads to something. That's all chain reaction, right? In sciences, that's what it's known as. Set a cause there. There's going to be something else that follows behind that, right? So once again, if he wasn't abusing her, and say he just wanted to kill her, say there was a form of mental illness, or possibly not, could be just something else, he just wanted her dead, right? And so say, well, what's the nature of the man, that individual, right? Or individual. Man, I don't even have to say man. What's the nature of him, right? But two, what could her actions have been before, which led up to her death? Could she have had a way of talking? See, I don't just question, I question both sides. I question those that are guilty, and I like to question too those who were in fact the victim, right? What could have been? Somebody's gonna be mad at me, I know, and they should be, because sometimes you don't know the situation. Never say, well, how some people say, well, you weren't there, so you don't know. No, I'm able to pick things apart, because for every situation where death is a cause and effect, you want to question his mindset. Could there have been mental illness? And I said that. And you in fact want to question the victim's mindset. Well, did she say something that made him angry or frustrated? Where he would want to say, bruise her body up to make it look like an attack, as in him going for her full on as an attacker, right? Couples are known to fight. Couples are also known to pick fights, even in frustration, right? So that's not to throw what they say, salt on the wound or anything like that. That's not to do that sort of thing. That's just to question each side equally. What was the possibility? Because something led up to her death. And he could in fact have mental illness. Who knows, right? Nobody knows, because no one knows him personally. And yet anytime there's couples involved like that, is to say, well, sometimes people just kill because they just have an intention to kill. And this is the second time I'm saying this. Could the victim have said anything at any time to make somebody frustrated? Who all around us know or have known couples that we know, even family members, that do things, that pick fights and that type of stuff? Helps to know how to question. So I think that's all for this. Tell me what you sense and believe about this situation, as in what could have went right or what could have went wrong, or what could have even went down between him and her, he and she. I'm known at times to pass judgment on people's looks, whether it's white or black, Mexican or Asian, whatever, right? Sometimes you can look into a person's eyes within the photos and tell something might in fact not be right. Hollowness of eyes. Casey Anthony herself has known to be, I'm just using her for example, to have that hollow, psychopathic type of look, right? That's not saying this individual in the photo, his photo looks that way, and yet eyes can affect, even my own eyes can affect. I like to be cool though. I wear my shades even in the shower. For those that don't know, that's just me. I say I'll take them off to wash my face with Noxzema real good, but I like to wear my shades as in keep them on, even at night. They say you should never go anywhere and have your shades on, like to a party or event or even a family event at night. And I care not to know, because I ain't one to fit in with the crowd. I'm the one to fit in on my own style. Does that make sense? As in wearing shades where I like to go, real low key with that. And being proud and such. But yeah, eyes have a tendency to give away individuals when it comes to killings, as in reading between the lines, what is there and what may not be there. An emptiness of a soul sometimes can be read within the eyes of murderers, I'm saying. Psychopathic, sociopathic, and all in between. So we are in fact on investigationdiscovery.com. ID logo sits above in the far left corner. Live now is Hometown Homicide. Unlocked episodes, you can in fact scroll through these yourself. To gain and access audio-visual preview is to click the play button. To add to watch later is to click the plus sign. The Face of Evil, Season 1, Episode 1. The face of evil. That would in fact make me question, why do evil people exist to begin with? Could genocide be in that? Should I make a video about that and question? So, because it's becoming overpopulated, right? We know that people take up a lot of space. People have more babies knowing that we're already overpopulated. But could there be a reason why a creator, or if you don't believe in a creator, if you're atheist or whatever, could there be a reason why evil people exist to begin with? Is there a reason that is to prevent us from becoming overpopulated? That's just a question. My mind likes to question randomness, because they say that in life we all have a purpose. I agree with that, right? And yet we all don't have just one purpose. We have various purposes, because to live a long life is to say we have various purposes. That's just, yes, human in itself, knowing that, well, if you live to see 80 years old, you possibly had over 80 something purposes in life, right? You don't just live one purpose, I don't think, right? But that's the question. Why would evil be created or made? What is the reason? What could be the reason for that? Because see, my mind would go on a level of, would genocide play into that? Could a creator have invented somebody that will go on mass murder sprees? When people say, well, I heard God talk to me to go kill, well, I don't know. I just question. I don't know what God told you, right? But how you have mass murderers out here that murder a whole bunch of people, that in fact takes down population, right? And yet you would in fact want to question that sort of thing. Some people might say, well, that's a misdeed or whatever, right? I don't know. I like to go deeper than that. Because something about the evil mindset is not right, and they're prone to kill people, and could have killed many people as you and I sit here, right? How you have unsolved, and sometimes people go missing or never found, as in their body and all the rest, right? That's to say a mass killing could have been involved with that sort of thing, right? And yet that killer mindset of killing masses of people, could genocide point in with that, as in a creator wanting those individuals to kill off to prevent overgrowth of populations. I just question that. I always do. Not everybody can take my level of thinking or questioning because I want to know. I don't ever want to stand anywhere and say, well, it's people out here that kill and they might or might not go to jail. And you have every year there's people that get killed, and every so many years mass murders that are involved, and the person might be found or might not ever be found, as in not go to jail, and the bodies might be found or not, or might be found or might not be found. And yet the closing question once again is to say that's in effect a form of genocide. Would a God want that? I know many of y'all gonna be mad about that. Don't ask that type of stuff. No, you in fact want to ask, could a creator, because if we all have a purpose, is to say, well, what is your purpose and what is my purpose, as well as what is the purpose of the killer in that mindset. That's almost like a form of a population control through a serial killer or mass murder or something. Something about that. I'm just saying, be wise and thoughtful as in analyzing for yourself. So the padlock on last night, to gain access to this is to click within here. Yes, provide your provider is how you gain access. I'm sorry, I froze. I'm looking at the logos blinging up above my head. That's in fact how you're going to gain access with that. Each one of these you can in fact go through yourself. Unlock series, same thing, scrolling through process. ID Go original series. Behavioral science is even. Yes, killings and all the rest is how you make sense of why. Studying, research, behavioral sciences, psychology, understanding the mind of a killer. Because not all killers think the same. Some killers might in fact have genocide on the mind. You don't know. To receive a newsletter is to type your email address in and click next. Psychopathy goes along with that, because to not have much emotion is to not care where you drag and dump bodies. Psychopathic individuals, which is how they get rid of people and not ever look back with that. So I think that's all to be said for now. I think that's all to be said. Enjoy your day, and I will enjoy mine, and I'm gone.